So today we're going to be kayak fishing. I'll bring all my favorite accessories, the top of which today are my rod holders. Can't go kayak fishing without your fishing rods, right? And of course you need a place to put them. Other things that I bring with me are a crate that have all my gear in it, and a cooler, and the fin drive, that's called a high drive by Pelican. That's going to propel me through the water using my feet. It's going to shed the grass away, and around here there's a lot of grass. I certainly love this drive system in these shallow water areas. And you never know what you're going to see out here, or who's going to hitch a ride. Of course, I'm hoping for fish, and maybe an occasional break on an island. Again, it's nice to have this drive system that you can just pull up to the beach with. Try doing that with propellers. Anyways, let's get to the meat and potatoes here and talk about fishing rod holders. In the shade of a tree, my feet in the sand. It's hot out, but I'm out there giving it a go. Fishing is slow. It is summertime. This is like our winter up north when it's just too cold to go outside. You stay in, right? Well, it's so hot down here, a lot of people stay in, so the waterways are pretty empty, except for knuckleheads like me. However, before you know it, in 5 or 6 weeks, the weather should start to turn and get a little bit cooler, and it's going to be prime fishing for a lot of us here down south, and you guys up north I'm sure are going to do well too. And in order to get out there and fish like Marty, it's nice to have a kayak with a removable seat like this Ergo Boost seat. I can sit on either the back or the regular part of the seat in case I want to boost. That's what the name Ergo Boost is all about. That comes with this Catch Kicker. Pelican kayaks are designated as part of the Catch family if they are angling kayaks. That has to do with the subject of this video which is rod holders on kayaks. Typically, you're going to see a rod holder like this. At least for me, this is what I think of when I think of rod holders. Of course, you can have a bazooka style rod holder as well. And again, this is kind of what people think of as rod holders. However, when I come out fishing, whether it's on a boat or on a kayak, I'd say probably less than 50% of the time that's the type of rod holders that I'm bringing. Typically, I'm relying on rod holders like this. Now, this is the flush mount rod holder that comes with the Catch Kicker and many other Pelican angling kayaks, and these are extensions that I make myself. Let me give you a quick refresher if it's been a while since you see me make one of these. Now, I've made rod holders like you see here on the wall in my workshop out of PVC before, but today I was going to be making those extensions out of these here. That's 1.25 inch pipe that I got at the local hardware store. I brought a saw with me and a tape measure so I could cut them into 4-foot and 2-foot sections. That helped with my short bed pickup truck. And the chop saw here helped make a little nicer of an edge. And in case you think the thin PVC isn't strong, I mean, look, this is just a little tiny piece and it's very strong. This was actually going to be the first time I used thin PVC as opposed to the thicker style you can get at your typical stores. But it remains the same because I needed to put a flare in the ends, as I like to do. I had a perfect tool to help make that happen. Now, if you're not into the whole beer thing, you can use the top of a paint can. Anything that has a flare like that will help you get that shape. Also, in order to do that, you see I have a dry bottle here. You can use a propane torch, or you can use a heat gun. You can use boiling water. There are other techniques as well that I'll cover in just a short while. But I always have a propane torch and it works good for me. This part actually doesn't take that long at all. This works a lot faster with this thin PVC than it does with the thick stuff. This flare should really help me find the rod holder with the rod butt when I'm out on the water. Well, I went ahead and I put a flare in the second rod holder. Then it was time to decide which particular kayak these rod holders were going to go into. This Catch Kicker I thought was a good candidate. It's also nice that my fishing vessel isn't that heavy and that I can bring it inside the shop and put it on the operating table. It's a lot easier to deal with than that 31-foot boat I was living on, I'll tell you that much. Anyways, now I gotta get that rod holder and see if it'll fit. 1.25 inches is close, but you definitely have to heat up the base of it to get it to slide into the flush mount rod holder. I heat up the bottom 3 inches, tapping it once in a while. You can hear the sound change as it gets soft. Getting there. Again, with the thin stuff, it doesn't take long at all. There it is. I will say a difference between this and the thick stuff is that this kept wanting to buckle when I tried to push it into the hole. It's almost as if the inside wasn't getting as hot as the outside. And I wouldn't suggest slamming the top of that. That actually hurts. Ultimately, this does work for getting a little bend in it, like I'm trying to do. But the other technique that I mentioned earlier that I've seen people do is to use sand. Here I'm collecting sand that's risen to the top of the area where a puddle forms when it rains. Thank you, Florida. Anyways, I put some tape on the bottom of this extension. Then I fill it with the amount of sand that I'll need. And now it's going to be time to heat that sand up. I used my little outdoor kitchen area here. And this process, I must say, went very quickly. I put the sand in there, just by itself, no water, no nothing. And it's on top of a medium to high flame. And it starts getting hot, like right away. With the cover on it, you can see all the moisture that's in the dirt evaporating. And I can't say that it smells very nice, or that it smells bad. It's definitely not something cooking like normal. If you guys are married, don't let your wife see you doing this, okay? Yeah, you also don't want to use a pot that you normally use for cooking, probably, or a thermometer you use for food. You know, unless you're single like me. Within minutes, that sand got up to about 300 degrees. And although I did spill just a little bit on my toes there, it didn't burn me. It's a weird substance, hot sand. You scoop it inside that PVC and it gets the PVC limber and bendable. But it took a little bit, so I figured I'd speed up the process by taking it inside and using that torch again, just for a little while. Again, if you do this, be careful. That PVC winds up getting really, really hot. Now I was ready to put a bend in the PVC. If I had to do it all over again, I would just use the propane and disregard the sand, which didn't help with kinks very much. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, well, after a considerable amount of doing, I was able to get a bend in this, and if you can't really see it, here it is next to a piece of straight pipe. So you can see the bend is pretty significant. I was also able to get two pieces with a very similar bend so that they'll be symmetrical when they're in the back of the kayak. Let me show you what that looks like. As you slide the extension in, it gets tighter and tighter, so you don't have to worry about it falling out or anything like that. And right now I've got it aligned so that it's pretty much straight up. these flush mount rod holders, they tend to go off at an angle just naturally. So you can correct that by having this little bend in there, by twisting it so that it's going that way. And you can also twist it so that it's going off that direction. And that's kind of cool if you're going to be trolling, or if you have something mounted back here and the pole is kind of getting in the way. You can manipulate this to whatever angle that you see fit. And of course, when you put the rod in there, the butt kind of starts to pinch in the base where the bend is, and that really holds it in there very securely. I never see a reason to have a notch here or anything like that. It's high up, it's easier to get to when you're in your seat, so that you're not reaching down very far. Keeps the wheels away from the hull of the boat, so that when you're paddling, you're not likely to lift it up out of the rod holder. So I would say that this actually is a success, even though I used the thinner PVC. And although it's a little smushy looking, I think once it gets a paint job, it's going to look a lot nicer. So let's do that right now. I like doing a multicolor paint job. This is done easy enough with, in this case, orange and black. This inside part only takes a few seconds and very little paint. However, you do need to set that aside and let that dry before you do the second color. And this is just flat black paint. You could make a lot of rod holder extensions with one can. Enough for nothing, I think these came out so well. If I don't wind up selling them someday, perhaps I'll just give these away. Now, of course, I can't just give away rod holder extensions like that. I've got to throw in these straight ones like I use back here. See, in the Exo crate, it comes with a pouch back here meant to be a rod holder, but it works so much better when you got a piece of PVC in there. And with the orange top, it makes it really easy from the seat to reach back and find that hole and put your rod back there. So with these inserts and the extensions, I have 4 rod holders on this boat, which is usually more than enough. I want to share this with somebody out there. I want to be able to share my experience, let you know what it's like to fish like Marty. And of course, you can just easily go and find one of these. Lately, they have been cheaper on Pelican's website than they are on Amazon. I love you, Amazon, but dang, I mean, sometimes their prices are twice as expensive. I don't understand. So if I leave a link to this, it may very well go to Pelican's website, which, you know, I don't get commissions when you buy a boat through them versus Amazon, but I can't, in good conscience, send you to a place that's going to charge twice as much for a product. So you could go there, get yourself a catch kicker and the accessories like the cooler. I love this cooler bag. I've had it for so long. The zippers still work great. Everything works. None of the nylon's gone bad, and this has been in the sun for many hours. And then there's the Exo crate in the back that has those straight rod holders. So you could get an Exo crate, you could get an Exo cooler, you could get Catch Kicker with these beautiful fin drives, those high drives they call them. You know, you can find a paddle there for your boat, or you could win one. You could win all of those things I just mentioned, a package that Pelican is going to be giving to somebody. I will share the details with you as I learn them, exactly what they are. They're probably going to want you to go to their website and maybe follow them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. I might actually be on Instagram on their page one of these days soon. Of course, I'll let you know when that's going to happen. All those things are free. You just go there, you click on them. Following some people online, some are annoying. Pelican is not. They don't inundate you with all kinds of things. So it's not like I'm going to tell you, go there and like their page, and then you're going to get 1,000 emails a day or something like that. That's not how it works. How it does work is that you may be able to win one of these by simply doing that. You don't have to purchase anything, you don't have to buy anything, but you may be able to fish just like me on this setup. I think the contest is going to happen sometime in September, so tick tock, we're getting there real quick. I can't wait to share it with you. I'm proud of Pelican for their products that they put out and for their generosity, not just towards me, but towards you guys as well. So stay tuned and I'll let you know as I figure this stuff out. And yes, the winner of that contest will get these 4 rod holders that I made myself with my own little pinkies. You saw me do it in this video. I will be sending all 4 of those to the winner of the contest. So you literally are going to fish just like me. It's going to be pretty awesome. Stay tuned and get out there, enjoy yourself. If you have a kayak, just go, man, have fun. Even if it's hot and the fish are being stingy, you never know what you're going to see out there. Maybe I'll see you out there someday on a catch kicker. Catch you later. Yeah. Oh man. Man, I should have put a beer in that cooler.